Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. This week's guest is Stylist Jessica Rea. Now, we had an amazing chat about all of the gorgeous things in her wardrobe, our shared love of a Hayley Menzies cardigan, dressing for the weather, and a little bit of an incident with some purple dye. I hope you enjoy this episode. Good morning, Jessica. Thank you so much for being on Off the Hanger. I'm really excited to have a good rummage in your wardrobe, literally just from the little hint of things that are behind you. It's making me very excited.
I was so excited to rummage my own wardrobe this morning because I feel like I've perhaps fallen into that cycle of just being super busy and on the go and actually doing the thing that I tell my clients not to do. And I'm sticking to wearing the same thing. So actually, this morning, having a proper rummage and rediscovering the things, beautiful items I've got was really exciting. So I'm really excited to show you.
And in your day job, as it were, you style lots of different people. I think one of the most interesting things for me is that you style a lot of well-known personalities, particularly women who work in the sports industry. And I think that's such a difficult niche to get right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I work across all different types of sports. So it could be from racing to snooker, football, rugby, you name it. Every day is completely different. And the biggest thing I'm always working with, or sometimes working without, is the weather. The weather, oh my goodness, I can be so well planned and well prepared. You know, leading up to Royal Ascot, I might have one client that will need 5 outfits. And then all of a sudden, I look at the weather forecast a couple of days before and I have to rechange all those outfits because the weather's changed.
And I think the weather's actually such a huge part of how we get dressed every day. I don't think we speak about this enough because the amount of times that I will really have to reconsider what I was planning on wearing because I've looked out of the window and it's suddenly blowing a gale or it's raining sideways or it's freezing cold. We've got such changing weather here in the UK that, and I imagine for lots of places all over the world, that actually it is a really big impact.
It is. And actually, it's one of the most frustrating things in my role for the particular styling that I do, because you can plan and plan and plan. And then all of a sudden you think, well, now we've got a heat wave that's arriving or we've got a thunderstorm that's on its way. So it's the one thing that I think that we can always do with the weather is colour. Colour plays such a big impact with how you feel and how it lifts your spirits. It can, you can be feeling really, really low. Then all of a sudden you pop on a bit of colour and it can make you feel really, really good about yourself. And that's something that when I'm working with clients for these particular events, colour is the biggest thing that I kind of focus on because that's the thing that I don't need to worry about. I don't need to change because that's going to be the forefront of their outfit.
Exactly. Whether it's bright sunshine or grey and rainy, that colour is going to make all the difference.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And did you love fashion as a child? Have you got an earliest fashion memory from your childhood?
So it's really interesting. I was thinking about this. And actually, the funniest thing is, growing up, I was like, I'm not studying fashion. I hate fashion. Which sounds so bizarre to say now, but I was so the opposite of what you could, think of as a child wanting to be in fashion. I was always very creative and I studied art and design and I just love textures and I love being hands-on and creating things. And I think that kind of my biggest inspiration stems from my mum. She is an interior designer. So as a child, I would watch her getting dressed up for her clients, going to the appointments every day. And she's got quite a wacky dress sense. And that definitely has kind of stemmed where my fashion interest came from. So because I wasn't interested in day-to-day fashion, seeing what the glossy magazines were printing. I was more interested in, I guess, more feeling behind clothes, which I now can understand. But when I was little, I obviously didn't get that. But seeing my mum put on a lovely outfit and being really confident going to her clients is kind of where it all stemmed from.
And I think actually that's the biggest realization that I think we're all having, is that fashion is a feeling, not a kind of following. It's not about following what everybody else is doing. It's about the feeling that it gives you and how you feel in your clothes.
Absolutely, because there's not one size fits all, and because you're this body shape or you're this particular size, you should be dressing like this. It's all about how you feel in your clothes. And I'm so passionate about that, because I think with the internet now, you're chucked so many bits of information that actually it can be really confusing if you're a little bit unsure of what you should be wearing, because, you know, in this magazine, they're saying you should be wearing this, and then a TV program and it's saying you should be wearing this. And for me, the most important thing is getting my clients feeling good. And I know that when I put on an outfit that I really love, you know, my whole posture, my body language changes, everything changes because I feel good.
And it makes all the difference. And I think you're so right. There's so many trends that aren't made for every body shape. There's lots of trends that aren't made for all of us. They're made for a very specific type of body shape. As somebody who is, you know, very lacking in the bust area, there's lots of trends that I would never ever get on board with when I was growing up and in my 20s, because I was like, well, that's just not made for me because I don't have the goods to put in there. So I think it is really, you know, key to be aware of dressing for yourself and for your body type rather than dressing to try and follow a trend.
Absolutely. And I think something that I see more and more now is when people are talking about sizing, one person being a size 12 can be with one particular body shape is completely different from the next person being a size 12 and or 14, whatever the size is. And I think that is really key for people to understand that, you know, just because people are one particular size doesn't mean that ticks all the boxes that we see, you know, in these glossy magazines and information or online. It's not one size, one box kind of thing.
And I think it's really good that you do have brands now. Instantly, kind of ASOS came to mind. They offer things in different body shapes. So if you're a size 18, you can buy it in usually the regular, you can buy it in their curve, but also they have an hourglass as well. So if you are somebody who's an 18, but you're more nipped in at the waist and fuller in the hip, then you've got that option as well to buy something that's going to be right for your body shape. Because if you're an 18 and you're more, you know, straight up and down, then that's a completely different fit than to somebody who's an hourglass. So I think it's great that brands are starting to move into that way. Are you somebody who hangs on to things in your wardrobe? What is the oldest thing you have?
Like I said earlier, I think it's all about feelings for me with clothes. And there's this particular item. Actually, this is my mum's item. So it was a really long, like ball gown dress. And she was going to an event, I think maybe 35 years ago. And she didn't want to she'd already worn this dress as a long ball gown. And she decided that she then wanted it cut so it was more, she could have, you know, a bit more of a leg showing but still smart. So she then added, I don't know whether you can see the detailing at the bottom.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
She then added a little bit of like detailing at the bottom. So actually it swings really, really nicely. And she got them to put a velvet band around the top here. And so she redesigned it herself. Herself has worn it, I don't know how many times. And then I have now worn it 3 or 4 times. And this is probably one of the most sentimental pieces, because what started out as a really kind of plain dress has now turned into something quite spectacular.
Yeah, it's a family heirloom, because I think you've both got memories wearing it. It's a unique piece, you know, because she had it redesigned and she redesigned it herself, but also it shows incredible versatility in fashion. If you have something that's super long that you've worn as a ball gown that you're not going to wear in that way anymore, instead of getting rid of it, customize it and turn it into something new that you are going to wear.
That's it. And I mean, she did it 35 years ago, before it was, you know, on the scenes now of recycling everything. So I think that she was way in front of the times before she knew it.
She was a pioneer. She was very fashion forward. I love her. What's the thing in your wardrobe that gets the most compliments?
So I love a power suit. I absolutely love a suit. And I have worn this suit. I mean, it doesn't look anything on the hanger, but I have worn this suit, I don't know how many times. It's got really beautiful tailoring at the back. So actually when it's on, it kind of sculpts the body really nicely. And it's kind of like a autumnal, like houndstooth print. And it's got matching high-waisted flared trousers. It's just to die for. Really, really nice fabric as well. The fabric kind of moves with your body, so it's not really stiff and really rigid. But every time I wear it, people stop me and go, "Oh my God, where's that suit from? It's beautiful. It looks custom made, but it just fits my body shape perfectly."
That's incredible. Where did you get it from?
I actually do a lot of shopping in Spain because the Spanish brands just seem to absolutely nail it every time. And once a year I go out there and have a bit of a girls' weekend with my mum. And this is from Sephora, and it costs me something ridiculous, like €120 for the jacket and for the trousers. And it's just beautiful.
And you definitely had your money's worth out of it by the sounds of it. It sounds amazing.
Exactly. And, sometimes it's not all about spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on things. It's all about how they fit.
Completely. What's the most expensive piece that you own? You can share how much it cost if you want to, but you don't have to.
I've got one of these beautiful Hayley Menzies cardigans. And this is actually a fairly new purchase. I've had my eye on one of these cardigans for forever, like literally forever. And I actually purchased this recently through a secondhand designer resale site, and it was about a third of the price of them new. It's in absolutely immaculate condition, and every time I put it on, I just feel amazing in it.
It's incredible. I have to confess, I have Hayley Menzies saved as one of my vintage watch lists. And I'm like constantly looking, going, at some point, the perfect piece is going to pop up at the right price and I am going to be there.
That is exactly what happened to me. It was in my size. It was in the exact print I wanted. And I just thought, oh, now's time. It's, a really special purchase because it's something I've had my eye on for years and years and years.
And I just think her designs are so special. They're so unique, really bold, really fun. And I think everybody needs a bit more of that in their wardrobes. Just those pieces that make you feel fabulous and that are talking points and that are really fun to wear.
They're classic pieces. They're pieces that you'll wear continuously for forever.
Yeah, and beautiful quality, incredible quality. What's the newest piece in your wardrobe? You said that one's quite new, but have you got something else that's newer?
I have. Is a pair of boots. So I recently bought these cowboy style over the knee boots. These were a purchase from Mint Velvet, and I feel like I'd been searching for like a boot that's got like the perfect heel and the perfect toe point, so not too high so you can actually walk in them throughout the day, but also a boot that's got really lovely leather, and I wanted them to kind of be over the knee, kind of thigh high vibes. I walked into the shop and just fell in love with these. I feel like they just tick every box. And actually, I managed to get them in the sale that was 50% off. So
even better. Because they don't feel like they're a Mint Velvet audience, a thigh-high boot. They feel like that's quite a kind of step out of their remit of what they normally do. I love Mint Velvet, that's no shade. But I would never think to look for a thigh-high leather boot in Mint Velvet.
Oh, so when I popped in there for a client, and I was so surprised to see them, and I thought, this is what's the catch here? This is too good to be true. I asked the lady in the shop whether it was just a boot they'd styled an outfit with, and no, they were there and they were in my size, and it was all meant to be. I will say their quality of their boots are absolutely brilliant. They really do a great quality boot.
Yeah, I think the quality of all their pieces, I think their clothes are really beautiful quality. I had quite a few of their pieces on a shoot recently, and it's been a while since I've shopped with them and used their pieces. So it was really nice to see just how good the quality is. Yeah, really nicely made. Now, you mentioned about the dress early being one of your most sentimental pieces. Would you say that is the most sentimental piece, or is there something else?
I have something else that comes up close to that, which is this piece. So it's a bit of a showstopper, and it's obviously an evening gown. It's a full length evening gown, and it's got beautiful shoulder pads to it. So actually, it kind of fits the body really, really nicely. It's got really lovely stretch to it as well. So again, it's not rigid. It's comfortable to wear. And this was something I purchased for a special family party that we had, an evening event. And since, I've worn this to some other nice events that I've been luckily invited to, and I've lent it to family members. This has gone to Brits. So I feel like if this dress could talk, it would share some really fun stories.
I love that. There is an account that I used to follow on Instagram called The Red Dress. And it was something about a red dress. Anyway, it was somebody had bought this red dress and they wore it once to an event. They took some pictures in it and then they just opened it out to send this dress on to other people. And so this dress has been all over the world. Loads of different people have worn this same one dress. And then everybody puts their pictures of them in this dress and tells the story of how and where they wore it. I just think it's such a lovely idea that our clothes could tell these stories of the places they've been.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just feel like there's been a lot of dancing in this dress, a lot of fun. And yeah, it's just really, really, really special dress.
And it's a classic. It's timeless. It's never, ever going to stop being fabulous. There's always going to be an occasion where it could be worn.
And I think I've had that in my wardrobe for maybe 10 years. And it's still, sequins should be worn and they should be loved and cherished. And that I feel like that dress really gets that.
There's some stat about the sequin pieces in our wardrobe. I think they get worn on average less than 5 times before they are then disposed of. And, you know, the majority of sequins are not recyclable. So it's actually really damaging to the planet. So I think sequins are one of those pieces that I try to buy less of now that I am more educated about, you know, their sustainability. But also I rent them out. Anything that I've got that's sequined, I put it up on bar rotations. People can rent the pieces out, but I lend them to people. I am literally my sister's go-to wardrobe for any sort of event.
Oh, I love that. That's good though. That's really nice. It means clothes are having fun. I always think there's feelings behind clothes.
Exactly. They're out there having fun, living their best lives. What's the piece in your wardrobe that most sums you up?
Do you know what? I think this might be really boring. I was thinking about this earlier. But it's my leather jacket.
Okay, that's not boring. I love a leather jacket.
This piece, I live and die in my leather jacket. And I just feel like it's just something that people will just put 2 and 2 together. Like I'm always in it. This was a purchase from eBay, again, probably about 10 years ago. A Whistles purchase. Their leather is just so soft. It wears really beautifully. And I reckon it's still in this good a condition and I wear it probably every other day.
That's amazing. It's incredible. And I love the silhouette of it. It's like really, you know, just quite an edgy style, that biker finish with the silver hardware. It looks great.
Yeah, it's just something that I just pop on and don't think twice about. And I think that probably, if you probably ask any of my family and friends what's like the go-to thing I'm always in, it's probably my leather jacket.
We're filming this on the day of the morning after the Oscars. So it is fashion Christmas morning, basically. It's my favourite fashion day in the calendar year, the morning after the Oscars. And Emma Stone won Best Actress, and her opening line in her speech is how she had broken her dress. And I went, hard relate. This is me. These are the things that happen. And this is my favourite question in Off the Hanger. It's, can you share a wardrobe malfunction or a fashion faux pas? Because I think we've all had them. And I basically just want people to keep joining my club and making us all feel better about the disasters that happen to us.
I did laugh when I saw the posting this morning about her dress, because I just thought, do you know what? She's just completely owned it, and it happens to all. And I really, really loved and respected that. I've had quite a big one, and it's funny now, but at the time it was pretty. I was working at a race course and I was judging a style awards, the heavens absolutely opened up and it was pouring like torrential rain, the worst rain I think I've ever seen at a racecourse. Anyway, I was trying to be all professional and, carrying on with my day. The rain's not going to, it's not going to stop me from having a good day. And we had just announced the winner for the Style Awards. We'd got the, all the lovely pictures and I went back to the offices and I was like, God, I might need to, my feet are really, really wet, like from standing in the rain. I might need to just take my shoes off for a minute. Took my shoes off in the office and the dye from my shoes had completely dyed my feet.
Oh no.
Completely. My feet were purple, like purple. And I looked down and thought, oh my God. And then when I looked closer, the dye had actually come up out of the shoe. Like, so you could actually, it looked like my shoes were way higher on my foot than they were because the purple was so rich in colour on my foot. And I had to hide the colour with foundation. Everyone in the offices were running around trying to find me things to cover the dye with my feet. Anyway, I just thought, oh, it's funny, whatever, it's fine. Got home, thought I'll scrub my feet, and the dye didn't come off. For about 5 days, I had bright plum coloured feet.
Oh my God. Oh no. Was this in summer?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. It's not even like you could hide it with a pair of boots.
No, and I was using everything. The dye just didn't come off my feet.
Oh my God, that's horrendous. Bless you. What a thing though. I think we've all had those moments, like with jeans particularly. I've quite regularly put on a new pair of jeans. And then when I've got home and taken them off, my legs are slightly blue because the dye's kind of rubbed off on my legs. And I'm like, that's weird and not appropriate. But to do your entire feet and then be bright purple, that's next level.
It was hilarious, but also, oh my God, what has happened? This is a nightmare. You couldn't write this.
And just the vision of everybody running around trying to find things to cover your feet up to just stop them being bright purple.
It was funny because they were obviously trying to be professional and trying not to laugh. And I was like, come on, we this laughing. I just couldn't help it. And thought, well, just don't go when you're filming, just don't go anywhere near my feet and just try and keep everything from here upwards.
Exactly. Everything from the upper body is fine. Let's not focus on what's happening down below. Now, I'm guessing they are not your favourite pair of shoes. What are your favourite pair of shoes?
Do you know, I actually think it's probably my new purchase, my over-the-knee thigh-high boots. I think they are something that I will live and die in, as well as my leather jacket. Kind of the two pieces together are a good staple in my wardrobe.
Yeah, I think they're great. And I love it when you get a new purchase and you're super excited by it. I am one of these people that I can't save things. When something new turns up, I am so desperate to wear it that I will just put it on at the next given opportunity. I just can't help myself.
Yeah, I am also like that, and then just wear things to death.
Yeah, exactly. People know on my Instagram when I've got something new because it's just all they see on there. I'm like, oh, look, I'm wearing the same shirt. Again, this is the 4th time this week. Do I love it? Yes, I do.
Taking everything for best.
Exactly. I don't want to do that. I think that's such a waste. I've got so many great clothes. Why would I leave them hanging in the wardrobe? I just want to wear all of them. I think they're, they shouldn't be left hanging. And as we were saying earlier about, the emotions of clothes, I feel guilty and bad for them. If I go into my wardrobe and something's been sat there for a long time and hasn't been worn, I'm like, oh, I feel bad for you. I feel bad that you've been sat here all this time waiting.
I must wait.
Exactly. Now, if you could have any dream fashion item, it doesn't have to be practical and you can have it irrespective of cost. It's just given to you. What would you have?
Oh, that's tricky. So I feel like it would have to be a Chanel bag because I feel like it would just get so much use. I feel like, I don't know the exact name of the bag. It's one of their classic bags, but it's got the really heavy hardware.
Yep.
So is it called the Clever Boy? I think it might be called.
Yeah, it's got like the boy bag, the flap overs, and then it's like the quilted one, isn't it, with the chain handle?
Yeah, but it's got the really heavy hardware there. So at the front, it's kind of almost like a bit rock chicky, a bit more heavy, like heavy duty compared to their kind of classic look, with a heavier chain, it's a pewter colour chain. I think I'd go for something like that because it would get a lot of wear and a lot of love.
Yeah, and I think they are a classic. They are a fabulous piece to have. You can wear them for the evening, you could wear them for events, but equally, if you took it to the supermarket, it would still look fine.
Yeah.
Now, is there a piece of fashion advice that you would have given to your younger self?
I think the biggest advice I'd probably give to my younger self is to keep being you and to keep wearing the things that you love and not listen to any outside noise. You know, if you love something, wear it and wear it with confidence.
That's amazing advice. I think that's so important, to just wear things that we really love. Oh, it's been so lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for having me. It's been really, really lovely chatting through all my different garments and actually rediscovering stories again that I'd perhaps forgotten about.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow, leave a rating or a review. Any of these ridiculous list of things that social media needs us to do. Thanks for watching.